Coming to you from their living rooms, it's the Day After Show with Danielle Staub and Yvette.
I just can't help myself. Pay attention, please. Hey guys, welcome to the Day After Show. It is the day after. Each episode, I'm unpacking all season long what is really going on behind the scenes and what perspective you might miss out on. So while we're waiting for Yvette to join, I hope you're all enjoying the viewing parties with me every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, now we're doing our lives right here on Instagram. We returned. You always come back to Instagram so we can do the Day After Show right here for all of you. A lot of you were requesting that I do this at a time that you're done with work, so here I am trying to make it work for you. Yeah, I agree with you. Whoever said I can't stand Margaret, me neither. Neither can I, but you know, before he joins, I love you right back, sweetheart. Hey, Yvette. Okay, he's here. Thank you for the earring compliment. Oh my God, I'm just going to stay right here. Forget it, Yvette. I just want to listen to all these compliments. It's so nice. Let's see. Yvette, come on in. Yeah, pay attention, please. I love you guys. You're the best. There's my Robin. You all heard me talking about Robin last night on my live. Well, she just tuned in, and I still don't know if she's okay with me giving her name, so I'm going to keep her anonymous right now and protect her anonymity. So someone asked if I like Teresa. No, I like real people, not people who live their life behind a filter. I mean, we all like a little filter here and there, but we're going to unpack some of that tonight. Yvette, do I have to call you in? Can you call, please, honey? I love you right back, sweetheart. Someone asked what I'm drinking. Bellini. I know it's not Sunday, but I needed something sweet because I haven't eaten too much today. I did have a bagel with lox and tomato and hard-boiled egg. That's pretty much all I had all day. And that was only a half of that. It fills me up quickly. So after this, I'm going to get to manging. Let me see. It won't let me send. Okay, Yvette, let's see. Who knows how to bring him in? I forgot. Okay. Okay. So I sent him a request. There he is.
Hello.
Hey, love.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. You look gorgeous.
Thank you, honey. I got my little Fendi in paradise right behind me. You guys can't see it, and I'm afraid I got a balancing act going on here. I can't really move anything, but I got my little portrait of them behind me, so they're keeping me company. And I'm a little tired today, so maybe the Bellini will help perk me up a little bit.
Yes.
So, cheers to you. How were your classes?
Good, good. I got my dancing fix in for the day. Now I'm ready to unpack with you.
Jealous.
Yeah,
so jealous.
I mean,
I want to dance.
We'll get you back on the dance floor soon,
I
I'm
need
sure.
to. I mean, it's what's going to keep my body like tight.
Yeah, and I know you've been going through it a lot with this.
Yeah, and I just got a block day before yesterday, which is like the 6 needles they put into your lower spine.
Yikes.
And it's like, I'll show you tomorrow when you come over. There's literally marks, and then they'll do the upper cervical the same way, the 3 on each side of my right up against your bone. And then they screw it in with the medicine and the lidocaine, and then the cortisone goes in, and you can feel it all. But Dr. Sim is just, he's the best. He's the best. His wife, Melody, I know you're watching, Melody. She's gorgeous, let me tell you. They're a gorgeous family. And He doesn't have Instagram, so I'm always tagging her and everything in case everyone's wondering, why she's tagged in it. That's his wife, so she'll repeat
Gotcha.
everything or repost it. And they were at my party, my white party.
Oh, I think I do remember meeting them.
Yeah.
I think they were getting there as I was leaving.
Yeah, like the gorgeous couple walking in, like at the end of the party. No, they weren't at the end of the party. They were halfway through, but they definitely made their appearance. But they came from Long Island, in all fairness, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
quite the
yeah.
schlep.
And I think
So-
I had to leave early that day or something.
Yeah, I mean, you guys came in and just like, you and Joey just came in and like cleaned the floor. Those pictures were amazing. We should put some of those up for the viewers so they can see you in your hubby in rare form.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
anytime you guys enter the room, it's just all laughs. All I can do is laugh and smile.
It's
guys
always
are
a
so
good time.
funny.
It's always a good time when we're around each other, that's for sure.
Oh my God, great energy, great energy. And here's your little boo. He's just your little baby boy. He's so
Yeah,
cute.
that's my baby.
He is a baby. So I want to know, like, before we get too deep into it, who do you think is the realest? I have to ask a question tonight. In your perspective, out of all of them, if you had to pick one, I know it's difficult with this cast of characters,
Yeah.
but who would you feel would get the real card? Not just last night, but in the whole, like, the series. Besides me, of course, obviously.
Yeah, you obviously. I would say it comes into like a neck and neck for me. Okay, I'm gonna say my actual answer. My actual answer is Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all the stuff the beef that you guys had, but it seems to me that she has no problem calling people out and saying it how she is. So to me, even though I don't think she's great, I feel like she is being
She's the realist out of the
herself.
selections, the choices that you have.
I think
I'd have to
Dolores
agree.
might be there too, but sometimes I feel like Dolores has like thoughts that she doesn't speak on. So
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, when it comes to Dolores, I've known her for a couple decades shy of 30 years. No, I mean, we're 26 years. I've known her. I'm acquainted with her. And I have to say, she does do good things, but she kind of balances it out with the behind the scenes evil shit. Like the way that she spoke to me was unacceptable. And so I can't forget that. I would have loved to given her that card, but I can't. I think if I were to break it down, I can't do the entire season because none of them are really doing their truths or speaking their truths. They're just being, as always, fake. But there was a scene in particular last night that made me realize that there's a lot of pain in Teresa. And so last night, I felt her pain when it was the mother. The mother's scene. And I think that there was no reason for her to even be there because she even said it out loud and they left it in. That she didn't want to come. Like,
right.
See what you'll do for the show. This is where it gets to me. She will do that because she'll sacrifice her dignity and her gut feeling and all that anxiety that she had. She'll sacrifice that and still go.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes you think like, wow, she was definitely forced to be there, or, I mean, they definitely encouraged her to be there. But yeah, I thought that was a very real vulnerable moment that you rarely see Teresa in. She couldn't even hold it anymore. She was like, no, I can't do this.
She had to go.
And I get it. I'm not a super fan, but I'm sure if like I had lost my mom.
Than me.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. But yeah, my heart went out for her in that moment.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I mean, and speaking of heartbreaking, I think there's a lot of things bothering me. Like the way that they're coming up with their storylines.
It doesn't seem like they have their own I mean,
they don't.
Like, it's not their drama, kind of. They kind of bring in the stuff of their kids now.
Well, they're laying it all on
parents,
family, yes. And I don't like that. I think that this show was supposed to be based around the characters on the show. Right. Now we've got all the husbands on there, which none of the other franchises do.
No, none of the other
ones. In the beginning, when you're introducing new characters, you have to cohesively get the viewers and the audience like acquainted with them. So your family's on and where you're from comes on, and they replay all these acts of, you know, oh, there was this and there's that, and my kid playing soccer, and they give you the warm moments and the good warm and fuzzies. But these kids are not being paid. It's more like child labor to me when you're talking about their sexual, you know, desires and where they're at. It's nobody's effing business, man.
Okay,
it's nobody's effing business. It'd be different if you sat down and said, listen, this is what can happen if you have sex. You may die, period.
I feel
so
like
stay away from it. You're too young. And I mean, it's the truth. I mean, but I used to tell my kids that about everything. You cross the street, you're going to die. You know, like,
that moment
if you touch that, you'll die.
Right,
you know, because I didn't know any other word or any other way as a single mother of 2 young kids to get them to be, you know, a little bit hesitant to not dive into something without looking both ways. So eventually, of course, you teach them, you know, right from wrong, and like you got to look both ways to cross the street. But you don't want them looking both ways to cross the street when they're babies. You want to tell them, you cross the street without me, you'll die, period.
You know what? I don't find it's weird for like parents. Obviously, your parents need to talk to their kids about everything. I just thought the way Melissa approached this birds and bees talk with her daughter was very cringy.
There was not the birds and the bees.
It was,
that was more
and on
like,
television.
Let me show everyone my boutique. Let me take this moment. I'm going to unpack it now. Let me take this moment, and we're going to go school shopping at the boutique where, you know, my daughter has seen everything already, and she really doesn't want this clothing. She wants to buy clothing from a different store, maybe like Urban.
Why would you take your daughter to your own boutique?
You wouldn't. you wouldn't. It's
That's
fake.
wild.
It's fake as can be. And the poor kid. I mean, Jesus, like. She's
on
going
television,
through, like,
on television,
obviously some changes, you know, and from childhood to woman.
They're growing up.
God, give her a break. This is the hardest transition for kids. And now you're going to ostracize her on a international television show.
She also commented on the size of her boobs.
It was degrading.
So I felt like that was very weird.
I would have been so, you know, people have said, had a lot to say about me being imperfect at this and that and the other thing. And you know what? You're allowed your opinion, but you don't fucking count if you're crying for her. If you're just saying, oh yeah, go Melissa, go Teresa, you guys are wonderful mothers. They're not. You don't use your family to have a storyline just to stay relevant on a television show. What is anyone's storyline this season? Please, I beg any of you in the audience to just tell me, what are the storylines?
Well, we wasted 7 to 8 episodes on the freaking rumor thing for them just to kumbaya about it at the end at some pool
because they want to keep their job on the show. It's more important than having your family just be like removed from it and say, you know what, this isn't good for my kids. In 10 years when my kids watch this, they're going to ask me, what were you thinking? Staying there. We have money, Mom, don't we? This is Jackie.
Right.
There's 2 incomes here. We're fine. Why would you have put us through that? And Jackie, that's coming, honey. Your 2 sets of twins, they are going to torture you over this because it is only me that can say, my kids were there from the beginning. And if I had known what would have happened now, if I would have known now what I know, if I would have known then what I know now, sorry guys, had a Teresa moment. I would have said, you know what, I'll do it, but I got to, after you introduce my kids, I don't want them to be a part of it. And pretty much that was true, what happened. I didn't have anyone to film with, even my kids, because it wasn't healthy for them.
Right.
It just wasn't. You know, they were going through their own changes. Christine was 13, going on 14. She just got a modeling contract with IMG. Jillian was a little 9-year-old bopping around and then watching somebody throw a table at her. After that table throw, my kids, I didn't want them to be a part of any of it. I tried to keep them away from it as much as possible. And they did not see the cast the rest of my entire time on the show until we came back. You know, I think it was around season 8 when finally Jillian and Christine both. Christine, I think it was season 9, maybe even 10, that she met up with Teresa. She didn't want anything to do with Teresa. She thought she was fake. And Jillian
Yeah.
gave her the benefit of the doubt. Teresa lied to her face. I would never do that to you again, or to your mother. I would never take her paychecks by treating her so poorly and chasing her off the show. She had no one to film with. I felt bad. I felt terrible. I guess prison didn't teach you shit, Teresa, because you did it all over again. All over again. And you know what? It's just going to keep happening. I cannot promote anything good about this. So I'm going to say the realest moment of the entire season was Teresa being upset about her mom. But then again, she put herself in that position to prostitute herself. Like, I'll do anything to stay on the show. That's a prostitute, folks.
Right.
Far be it from me to point out the obvious irony here. Like, well, that's a fucking prostitute. And then flailing about is Margaret Joseph. I mean, she's flailing like her boobies, you know, like they're just flailing and flopping like a trout out of water, you know, trout mouth.
So yeah, that just seemed to be like where the show seems to be taking a direction. It took Teresa freaking 9 episodes to admit that she had a freaking man. I don't know why we waste all this time.
Meanwhile, I mean, like, we all know she's got somebody.
Everyone knew already. And she probably knew that by the time that this show would air, everybody would have already known. So I don't get why I feel like we're being like edged. You know what I mean? And we're not getting to the point. And now everything's kind of moving to, and I feel like it jumps from one thing to the other, which is normal. Margaret has her whole book reading thing on her yacht.
By the way, I've been on many yachts. That's a boat.
Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, you would definitely know better than I would.
Yeah, I do.
So she went ahead and explained or read an excerpt from her book. Of course, she picked the excerpt in which she mentions the affair that she had with her boss. I mean, I'm getting a lot of mixed signals. Like, were you a victim? Were you not a victim? I thought it was very strange that her last words were, this is what I wrote down. Her closing statement of that part was, he was not an abuser, just an asshole. But if I'm not mistaken, it is coming off as if she wants it to be sexual harassment, but then at the same time, it's not. So I'm not clear. Like, Margaret needs to just say what she means. Was this sexual harassment or was it not? Like, I need a clear answer.
So it wasn't, first of all. Second of all, or, you know, she would have been talking about it for a while now. Like,
right,
Margaret
this is coming
loves
up now.
To gain sympathy off of anything she can, so that she can attack people for maybe doing something that, you know, they didn't even have a choice about. She doesn't seem much like a genuine person. I mean,
she's always in everybody's business and very judgy.
But that's her role.
Doesn't want to be judged.
Her role is seek out and destroy, just like she destroyed both her marriage and Joe's marriage, just like she had an affair for 4.5 years while her husband was in bed waiting for her, and then climbed back in bed with him after he hired the plumber that she's fucking. I mean, if you fall greatly in love, like, immediately, you just get divorced then, or tell your husband then.
But now, she doesn't give other people.
That's calculated, and it's a conspiracy, and it's not right.
She doesn't give other people the same empathy that she wants to be received, which is what bothers me the most. I don't care anything that Margaret did, but I mean, don't call other people out when you have your own shit that you don't want people calling you out about.
No, she hides behind everybody. Trust me, she's going to try to spin this book into another kind of movement.
I heard that there's a story in there about you.
Really? So she can't write a book without mentioning me? Amazingly, in season 1, I wrote an entire memoir. All of them were a part of my life for a minute, and I still didn't mention one of them by name. I defy anyone to find their name in my book.
I did hear she mentioned, like, one of the stories she talks about is about your wedding or something like this. I need to look more into it. I don't want to speak and not say the correct thing. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting take.
Marge, poor Troutmouth can't even get by writing a book without mentioning me. She steals my furniture.
Well, that's a pretty significant part of her life.
She's a good one to talk about my wedding. I mean, she did her best to destroy it by driving me fucking crazy, hiding my veil, stealing my food. I mean, why not?
Hiding
the
your
rest of them
veil?
were being completely out of control, but we don't need to unpack that one just yet. But I
No,
do have
but
to
I didn't hear
say,
about
in all
that.
honesty, before we go any further, we'll just end this thing about Marge's book, because I'm not here to sell that for her.
Sure, yeah.
It's fake, it's lies, and I guarantee you there ain't nothing in there that's going to make anyone move forward in their life. There's no lessons in there for you to learn. She is not a good person, period, done.
Yeah, I mean, and then Jennifer, who I just gave the credit for being the realist, apologized to her.
Oh, wait, somebody just said, I don't see Marge getting a kiss from Gerard Butler. Oh, hell no, baby. Or any of my ex-boyfriends, like Prince, which is in my book. I wrote about people that really were a part of my life. That's what
Sure.
a memoir is.
Right.
I'm really that relevant to her. Oh, I guess I am. I'm supplying her home with furniture and art, and she won. She got my husband away from me. Thank you for that, Margaret.
I mean,
Thank
that
you
was
so
actually
much,
a
because he's
favor.
the biggest piece of shit that ever walked the face of the earth.
I was gonna say that was probably a favor at the end of the day.
Oh, big time, big time. Can't even believe how grateful I am to be away from that narcissist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I feel like then the episode went into this Turkish party with the moms. We talked about Teresa leaving. I've also heard that Jennifer's mom is currently not speaking to her. I don't know if that's true either.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't doubt it for a minute, because what you do to your parents and your children when you put them in a scene, you're well adapted to what's going to happen on camera. There's a chance things can go awry. Your family has only seen about 5 minutes of what is shown on the show. And they really don't need to be as much involved in the show as the characters do. So we're not talking about, Jennifer's life anymore. We're talking about her mother and her father's life. And then allowing your children to sit there and watch that. Judge me all you want. I'm sorry, but none of them are getting an A for me for parenting.
Except Bill, right?
Oh, Bill's the best. You know
We like
how I
Bill.
feel
We
about
like Bill.
Bill. She's so lucky to have a man that worships her like that, because I'll tell you what, if she were divorced and single, she wouldn't stand a fucking chance out here. If I don't stand a chance, she doesn't stand a chance. So it's real cute when you're acting like that and you have a husband to go home to. But if you misbehave just a little tiny bit and you got a man like Marty to go home to, yeah, that ain't support right there. I mean, Bill makes all the men on this franchise look like they need to take lessons, especially the Jersey guys. The Jersey guys are the worst.
They're the most involved in the drama, that's for sure.
I mean, that's what the cast of characters is. It was supposed to be about the housewives. Then it turned into all the husbands, right? And then the husbands have their own scenes and the housewives have their own scenes. No other franchise does this. Now, that's not working anymore because the viewers are way too smart for them. They figured it out and they're like, this is frigging boring. So the women and the men get drunk separately and talk shit about each other in their 50s and 40s. That is not how real life goes down. Get together, drink a 50-year-old bottle of scotch, and throw daggers into each other's marriages. You just don't do that. Men don't do that. Not even my gay boo-boos don't do that.
No, definitely not. Sometimes, if they have it coming.
But then to involve the children and the parents, I would not be surprised one bit if Marge walks away from this with her mother in a different place as well. Her mother did her best. Is she perfect?
Yeah.
No.
How do you feel
Marge isn't perfect either, and she has no one to blame but herself. If I repeated the lessons that my father taught me, I guess I wouldn't have been a good mom either. But I didn't. I broke that. And I made that mold like shattered on the ground. Nobody was going to get any kind of treatment that I got. I did the opposite of what I learned. You just know when something's right or wrong. You can't blame your parents. You can just move on from it. You can be upset with them, but you don't bring it onto a television show and make that your storyline. Sorry.
Well, wouldn't you say that it's definitely time for her to forgive her mother and maybe try to amend her relationship with her? And it can't be that bad. I mean, they're always hanging out, and Margaret lives a life of privilege. So how bad of a mother could have Marge Sr. really been? And even then, like, everything seems fine now. You should forgive and you should work on your relationship and move forward. You should stop
Yeah,
shaming
take it out of the
your
public's
old
eye
mother.
and really hug your mom and appreciate the fact that you have a mom. I'd do anything to have my mom back. Anything.
Right,
But
right.
I did that. I did my mourning privately. And you know, I have to say, people could say whatever they want about me. I'm used to it. And there's most of the time I could give just a tiny little rat's ass. I really could. Because I know who I am. I never used
Right.
my children, never used my family, even when my mother was alive. I told my story and told my truth from my perspective and made it about me, not about, oh my God, my dad did this to me and oh my God, poor me. I didn't gain sympathy that way. I just tried to
Well,
really
I
be a real
mean,
character
your
for people
story is
to
also
relate to.
different.
And more people than not, even the people that say they hate me, they're just afraid that they see too much of themselves in me. So I'm not buying it. You're just too weak to admit that I'm just a part of you that you don't want to be. You're not strong enough to be. So
Yeah,
go ahead and keep
absolutely.
hiding behind all those slur words and all those insults. It doesn't affect me. It makes you ill at night. It bothers you. I keep you up at night. You don't keep me up at night.
Right, right. To take the energy out of your day to be negative takes more
No,
energy out of
nobody
you.
does that. And I do this for people that, want to know what the perspective is of really what's happening while we're filming. Again, you only get about 5 minutes of 5 hours of filming. It takes them longer to put on their makeup and walk down that plank to the scene than it does for them to shoot it. Trust me, these girls are in glam all freaking day long. I mean, we've seen that when some of them don't wear makeup.
Right.
Oops.
Speaking of, I feel like Teresa's skin, although I don't find it very wrinkly, which is great for someone her age,
Mhm.
there's definitely she looked very different when she didn't
Yeah.
have makeup on. Uh,
Well, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I noticed the same thing. I was like, there's a lot of blotchiness and gray marks on her, and I hope it's not her health. I mean, I can't
is that sun?
stand
That's
her,
probably like sun damage, right?
but I
You
would
think?
never want anything to happen to her. Unlike them, they wish harm on me. I don't do that to people. I like my karma clean, and it's pretty darn clean. But I think
And she was
Teresa is
hobbling.
used to putting so many filters on everything, and we love a filter. But I mean, I don't even know how to use them that well to make it look right. So I just don't play with it. But she edits each and every photograph. And I remember when we were close, or when I thought we were close, that I put up a photo one time and she literally called me in a panic, not even 60 seconds later. Oh my God, take it down, take it down, take it down. I got to send it to me. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to put a filter. We'll both look really great. I'm like, I think we look great just like we are, Teresa.
Right.
And she's like, no, you have to take it down. I'm like, fuck you, I'm leaving it up.
I'm
And she was
dead.
like torturing me over it. She was so mad. Every time she'd see it, she's like, come on, give me your phone. I want to take it down. I'm like, will you get over it already? It's one picture. She's like, yeah, but I don't look good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I think I look good. So it's my photo. So do whatever you want. But, and then I'd see the same photo. She would post it and it would be like, are my cheekbones? Where's my definition? But, I looked perfect, but I'm not perfect. Can't
Right.
we all just be happy with what we've been given? And
Well,
I
I
think what
mean,
you're getting, the point you were trying to get at about her skin, yeah, she has a lot of sun damage. She worships the sun. I love the sun too, but I don't worship it. I don't have the time to worship it. But she's been paid a lot more than me to just go lay her ass in the sun all the time. So, I don't think I do anything differently. I still wear sunscreen and I turn, my nationality changes in the sun. I'm
I'm dead.
completely I've been called my kids' nannies when we've been on
Yeah.
vacation because I get so dark so quickly.
You're
And
hilarious.
and I love
That
it,
took me a second.
but I don't think it's really healthy when you get to a certain point in a certain age. You have to take better care of your skin. I
Sure.
mean,
Sure.
I wish that, she would have listened to me when we were hanging out because Teresa, you're just far too dark. Like you can't just say you need to lay in the sun all the time. Like
It's
Who's
dangerous.
taking care of the kids while you're on 17 vacations a year? And it's like, oh, daddy's got them. And I'm like, okay, must be nice. Well, she won't be going on that many vacations now, unfortunately, but maybe that'll save her skin. I don't know.
For
But I
sure.
do know that she does need some laser or something done. I mean, I'm 58 years old. I see imperfections on me all the time, but I just try to use the creams and the lotions and the things that I know will help me. And then when I don't wear makeup, I'm pretty proud of my skin. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
have a problem going out without makeup on. I wouldn't go out, to dinner that way, but I don't like a lot of makeup. I really
sure,
don't.
sure. So a couple of people here in the comments have mentioned that Margaret actually said on a podcast that she doesn't wish you any bad
Well, that's okay for her to say that
recently.
now. She's already done all the fucking bad. Of course she
I was
doesn't
gonna
wish it
say
to
it's
me.
so
She's done
late.
it. She broke up my marriage. Thank you very much, by the way. She had my home. She supported him in stealing my home from me. And there's a laundry list of things I could get into, but just review and recap, people, in your mind, where our first fallout happened in my kitchen over tea. And I had gotten sushi for her when she said she was going to a hatchet throwing party with Siggy's best friend, Margaret's nemesis. And it was after I defended her. The last episode was me defending her against both of them. And she's going to go and make up with her and then go on a trip together. And I was like, I told her that. And you can recap it all you want. I said, this is the beginning of the end. You don't know what you're doing, Margaret. You don't know what you're doing. And she sure enough did not know what she was doing. But then she just leaned right into it and said, you know what? Fuck her. I'm going to lean into this story and I'm going to get mine. And she did. She came for me and she came for me hard, like a dog with a bone. I mean, literally, trout mouth went for me and chewed me up. And
Well,
if I
I
would have
definitely,
just genuinely fought back, it would have been one thing. But, if I had done what I did in my final episode with her when I did push back, she was pushing at me for 2 years, folks, over 2 years, not just on camera, off camera. Off camera was the worst part, going in town and telling people stuff and starting rumors and making me feel uncomfortable, even going to Starbucks. She's a pig. She's a fucking pig. And disgusting pig. I do wish her bad because she's a bad person and bad people deserve bad
you don't
things to
mean
happen.
that, friend. You don't mean that.
I do. I don't wish anything good on her. I don't. She's stolen everything from everybody else to make the life that she's had for herself, including her friends. And I am here to say, I don't wish well on people like that. I think they got what's coming to them and she's getting it. Just look at her.
I definitely feel like actions speak louder than words, and if she did really feel like she didn't wish you any bad or anything like that, you would know it through her actions and not from her just saying it on a podcast.
Yeah, she's just far too insecure for her own good. And you know what? Not for nothing, she's not my problem to heal. I think she's getting exactly what she deserves. And look at her and look at me. I don't care how much more money she might have. I have a heart of gold and I will stay that way forever. She can't change me, but I don't like her. I don't hate her, but I don't like her. I'd love to say I hate her, but that's just not godly like. But she can go fuck herself or the plumber that she lives with.
Okay, but there's nothing technically wrong with being a plumber, right?
Well, if he were actually plumbing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was supposed to fix my shower, which was brand new. He broke it so bad it was a $4,000 repair. I don't call that plumbing.
Now. I'm dead.
It's just my handle that was broken.
Funny.
I didn't know you had to press the button. It was one of those new ones, and you have to press the button to make the water start. I'm like, who would put this on here? It doesn't make it easier. So he's like, oh, I'll take it off and change it for you. No, he broke it. So
somebody says that Joe B does his best work on his back. He doesn't do plumbing.
Pretty much. I mean, he's got to lay down flat for that one. Just saying.
Oh,
he's a
boy.
cup man.
Yeah.
That's why Mark was so upset with Jennifer.
Now, that's a hot take right there. It does kind of seem that way, doesn't it? Especially with her.
Give me two more of these and I'll tell you details.
I was going to say, well, considering how she feels about Jennifer being kept by her husband, like, okay, so does that mean you keep your husband, or like what? I see what you're saying there, Danielle. I see it.
Yeah, she does not. She doesn't like that other women have gotten what she's always wanted, and that is to be kept. But instead of saying, it's okay, I wanted that too, but things worked out differently for me because, I didn't have a man interested in me in that way. She should just really be proud of who she is instead of cutting somebody else down, because she did that to me. She
Right.
just wanted to take everything that she didn't have. Well, she literally did that now, and admitted, oh, I had my eye on that since I met her. It's just gross. It's gross. Meanwhile, that stuff's been with me far before I ever met Margaret Joseph, so the story doesn't mesh, and Dolores knows that too. Shame on both of them. But back to my point, I think Margaret's got some series of really hard times coming ahead of her. And once all these lawsuits really do drop publicly, like big time publicly, and they allow it on the show, everyone then will not forget what she's really done to the lives of people that she was close to. Someone willing, a friend of hers, a couple friend of hers, willing to loan her $216,000 and her never to make a phone call to them, or apologize to them, or even try to make payments. And now she's claiming she's got a book, she's got this, she's renovating the house. I mean, there's only so much stuff she could have stolen from me. What's she getting the rest of the parts from? I mean, seriously, she and Joey Gorga could really collab on that. I mean, he steals homes that are flipped not by him. So, yeah.
There's been a lot of comments too I've seen about people claiming that the whole issues between Melissa and Joe, like even their fights, are staged and not real, for a storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I think Joey and Melissa are definitely having a hard time.
I think so too.
And I think that they do practice these fights, but then they end up being real fights.
You think they escalate to something real?
Yeah, because I know his temper. I know him very well, and I know Melissa. She thinks she's like, her shit doesn't stink. 14 plastic surgeries on her face alone. You're still not J-Lo, sweet pea. Okay? You need to relax on that.
Someone fucking, ooh, I shouldn't say that word. You guys didn't hear me say that word.
You can say anything you want, honey.
I didn't
This is my
say
show.
it. I don't curse. I don't curse. Someone compared her to
so
J-Lo
you meant fucking, right?
Yes, that's the word.
I love that word. It can be happy or sad.
I love it too. I just try not to just let it slide out of my mouth like that. Someone did mention Melissa, like, is definitely channeling her J-Lo, but like maybe circa 1999, not
J-Lo is not
J-Lo.
bragging about that, by the way.
No, you imagine? That'd be crazy.
I mean, if she's trying to gear up to take J-Lo's ex, Melissa, take a seat, please, honey.
I'm dead.
Take a seat. And if you need a little more cushion, sit on Dolores's ass cushion, because she keeps getting more and more implants put in there. I don't know what's going on with her, but the stuff isn't healthy. And on the implants, not to change the topic completely, but I am getting mine completely removed. I had them removed, and then they put little temporaries in there because my skin was so thin from them. They broke inside of me, and I have silicone poisoning, so I'm still getting tested for all of that.
Whoa,
and
that's
it goes
scary.
through the state too. Yeah. So once my skin is healed, enough layers over it, it was thin. You could see right through it with the lens during surgery. Dr. Steven Greenberg out of Long Island, he's amazing. He has an office in Manhattan too, but a surgical center there was amazing. He handled me so well. So I'm going to be coming back to you, Steven Greenberg. Don't you worry. I'll be back.
I love Dr. Greenberg.
This time. Huh?
I love Dr. Greenberg. I've been to his office too.
I love
the
him.
one in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, the one on 72nd in Park.
Love him.
Yeah.
He's
great. And he's
Shout
got a
out
great
Jen
bedside
Stark.
manner, but I really want to get like everything removed. I think I wanted to do it a couple years ago when I had this done right I think it was like in October before the reunion, season 9 maybe, I don't know, but we don't need to talk about that any further. I just want to let people know there were a few people mentioning that
So
my
another
implants might be
thing,
unhealthy for me. They were concerned. They were saying things that were very nice. And I am aware of that. I just wanted to answer it here. And I'm already
sure.
on it. Trust me, I'm 2 years overdue for getting them all out. But I have
Wow.
to make sure that my skin is healed from the implants collapsing inside of me and silicone poisoning before he can re-enter for surgery. So
Sure.
say prayer
Sure.
for me, and I want to get them out. I'm going to be like I was born, flat-chested, and I love it. I'm
Yeah.
tiny. I'm
I
5'4".
mean, it's
I
just
don't want those big
crazy.
boobies.
It's crazy how these things are like trendy and like sometimes big
Well,
boobs
that
are
was in
in
the
and then big
90s when I
boobs.
first got mine done. And then, of course, I
Yeah.
had 5 surgeries later because I kept having problems with them ever since. But once they take out your natural tissue, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You either replace them or you don't have boobs at all.
Right, right,
So I
right.
have enough left that they can restore me to my natural size, which was an A. And I'll be happy with
You would
that.
look great like that because you're very
That's what I
thin.
was born with. So leave
Yeah.
yourself alone, ladies.
Yeah.
Big boobs
Okay,
are a thing of the
so
past. I remember
this
now
is,
why I don't drink Bellinis too much when we're doing this because they do make
I
me,
like it.
yeah,
I like it. I like
you
it.
make
I
me a
like
little
it.
loose-lipped. So
Ooh.
I wanted to just address that, and now we can move on to
Sure.
unpacking the whole scene with Melissa and her daughter, who
Yeah.
was cringing on that. Her poor kid. I felt so bad for her. Really
She did
felt
not
bad
look
for
like she
her.
was comfortable in that scene at all. I feel like most of the kids on this show don't look comfortable in the
No,
scenes
they
that
all
they're
had
in.
their moments last night. Besides Michael Cora's little girl, little girl.
That
They're
little
Michael
girl's a
Cora's.
queen. I
Yeah,
love that
she's
little
too
girl.
cute. She's too cute. But I mean, she's too young to realize it's very uncomfortable what's going on. And
Sure.
I feel really bad for these kids having to have this kind of public transparency for their parents to be on a show. Like, leave your
Right.
kids alone, man. It's hard enough being a kid growing up these days. Leave them be.
Sure.
My heart
Yeah.
goes out to them. So I think in the hot seat tonight,
Tell me.
I had to put Melissa in the hot seat.
Yeah,
What
that
you
was
did to
so
your daughter
weird.
is despicable, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And next time you go school shopping, text me, girl, because I have stores that are applicable for your daughter, being as you wear every bit of your clothing out of your boutique or whatever you want to call it. You know, first of all, you're too old to be wearing it. It's too short. And second of all, if you're going to have your daughter wearing the same thing, at least give her other options, you know?
Yeah.
She
Maybe
didn't
her
like
daughter
it. She
doesn't want
didn't
to
like the
dress.
clothes. And don't talk
Right.
about sex that way. Don't tell her her boobs are big and boys are
Right.
mentioning it. What was she, high? You don't talk to
I
your
don't know.
kid like that.
I mean, I definitely feel like I'm judging her, maybe I shouldn't say that. That's probably not good. Her judgment. I'm judging her judgment because I do feel like it most likely came from an innocent place. She's like, "Oh, I'm this girl's mom. I'm a mom. I should talk to her about sex." But her delivery was very strange.
No. She wanted to talk about sex because she needed to be a part of the episode. What
Right.
else does she have going on? Are they going to exploit their marriage any further? No, they didn't want to do that. They know they're pretty much caught because no one's buying the fake shit that's going on. It wasn't fake. Her and Joe are having
No.
problems. I'm going to say it to this day, and I'll keep saying it. You watch. I'm going to be right. I'm never wrong about any of them. I haven't been wrong yet. I said in season 2, when I stepped away, I said, when I remove myself, they will all be exposed. Boom. 42 counts of fraud. A month later. I'm just saying. I'm rarely wrong. And I'm never wrong about these women. Never, ever, 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 ever.
Yeah.
Because I was a part of it. I know. I know what they were hiding behind me. So the hot
Right.
seat goes to Melissa Gorga.
I'm with you on that.
You should be ashamed of yourself for that scene. You should never put your daughter in that position. And
That was so
girl, take her
embarrassing.
shopping for clothes that are applicable for her and that she might like. Not the shit that you want to sport around just so you can save money and say that I have a boutique. I mean, I thought you were an independent entrepreneur. You have all this money. Spend some on your kid, okay? Take her to brunch. Take her to something nice. Have a talk with her when you guys are calm and together and alone.
Or like
TV
talk to her
shit.
like you're her mom and not her like friend. Her, I don't know.
No, not in that incident. You cannot be just her friend, but you have to be a mother, and you have to be soft, and can be so damaging. If that's the first talk she had with her about sex, which I believe it is, come on.
Yeah, she looked shocked. It was weird. It was very
she could
weird.
have been doing makeup on both of them and then had that conversation before they even got to the scene. But
right.
Yeah, she was too worried about her own glam to be, messing with trying to make her daughter be prepared for that. Her kid was not ready for that. That was embarrassing.
No.
I was uncomfortable for her. I really was.
So
who do you think's in the hot seat?
I agree with you. Especially after watching last night's episode, I really don't come from like a place where I'm like, I don't know. I'm like trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, but it was very cringy the way she approached the situation. I agree with you. It was the weirdest part of the show for me.
Truly,
definitely.
And I'm amazed if anyone can support that. Wait till you're a mom. You won't support it then. I mean, I would never. If I were her daughter, I would be so humiliated to go back to school.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Oh, she doesn't consider this.
People remember these kids have real lives, and they don't go to like a private school where they got 6-to-1 ratio, so there's not too many kids and they're protected. My kids were in private school always.
Right.
These kids are in public school. That means there is like 100% chance that they're gonna get beaten up over that, like mentally, and abused over that, and that's going to replay for the rest of their lives. Just like Jennifer's parents, they're going to see that for the rest of their lives. Right. And God bless them all. Like little Gabby running out of the room, so upset. It's heartbreaking, heartbreaking to see anyone have an opinion on me when they can condone that kind of behavior. I'm broken over it, Yvette. I really am, and I'm ashamed of them.
I mean, that says a lot about these ladies, that's for sure. We got some interesting questions here.
Let's do it.
One that you've been getting the last couple of times that we've been doing our show, and maybe you can...
Oh, someone just said Melissa body shamed her own daughter. She did.
She did.
She totally did.
Like,
and that's
she's
despicable.
Like, your boobs, something, your boobs. I don't know. Anyways, so one of the questions that so many people asked him this, and it's so random, is Frank Catania gay? Obviously, I would think he's not because he's married to Dolores, but a lot of people say that he has been seen on Grindr. Do you know anything about this? Do you care to elaborate?
No one does.
I was going to say, guys, how would Danielle know? Grindr is for the gays. I mean,
yeah, like I just know Andy Cohen talked about it, and that's why I did that, that episode on Andy Cohen and the Grindr, and it made the press, but I didn't lie. He didn't deny it. It's
right, but you don't.
True.
So you don't know any of this about this Frank situation, right?
No, I think Frank is just really. He's beaten down by his life. I think he lost his career. He gave it to Dolores. He used. $190,000 that was given to him to be put into escrow, and that's how he got disbarred when he gave it to Dolores to buy the gym when she was first starting the show. If you guys remember, she started owning gyms and owning stuff. That was because it was Frank's, escrow money from his client. He got disbarred because of this. So where else is he supposed to go, and what else is he supposed to do? He doesn't have anything anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's, and I also still believe he needs to get his heart checked. There's something going on with him, and I don't have to like somebody to know that when somebody's health is in jeopardy, I'm blind to what I feel about them, and I'm empathetic.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gay though. I really don't.
Yeah, and I mean, just to clear the air, as a gay
my
man,
gaydar is pretty on point too since the 80s. I'm not a new gay lover.
This is just something that I saw
was raised
a couple
by gay
times.
men, so
yeah, I don't know, guys.
Saying absolutely not. He's not gay.
We don't know, friends. Yeah. So he's not. Somebody wants to know, will you be doing a viewing party for the reunion?
100%. Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hot one. All right, let me see if I have any other interesting
Because I
questions
can sit
here.
my ass in my mind right next to Andy Cohen. Actually, I should be sitting in Andy's seat because Andy's never filmed an episode of The Real Housewives of Anywhere, ever. And this is something that I'm always curious. Why is it that he has to have people write down the questions? If he's not watching the show and he's not on the show, what makes him a host of the show? Just saying. It's okay. He owns the franchise. It's okay that it's his, but you don't know anything about it. So have somebody that's actually on it or has been on it. You got plenty of those. You fired 12 of them, and then you
I'm
had me
done.
resign first. So I didn't get fired, but you should really take a step down, Andy.
Yeah. So a lot of people have also asked about your relationships with Kim D and Kim G. Are there?
I don't
There's
care
no.
to have one.
No.
They know what they've done to me, and if they don't
Which one's
remember,
which?
I'm not here to say it.
Which one's which? I know Kim. I know
Kim
both
D
of
was the one that I brought on the show because her
shorter hair, right? Is that the one
no,
with
that's
the?
Kim G. Kim
Okay.
G was her sister-in-law.
Okay.
Well, actually, not really her sister-in-law. Her mother, Kim D's mom, is married to Kim G's ex-husband's father, Mr. Granitel. So
Okay.
Kim G was brought on by Kim D when Kim D used me to get in with the rest of the ladies because I brought them shopping at her boutique, trying to help her boutique, which was like a hat closet. I literally don't think she even remembers how horrifying she was to me after I helped her. But I've done that for everybody that I brought on the show, and if they treat me like shit afterwards, it's just on them, not on me. So she wanted Kim G to replace her so she could go hang out with the rest of the ladies thinking that she would get into the show. But she was only ever an extra. She wasn't paid to be on that show. And, Kim, there's no hard feelings here, but, stay out of my lane. Both of you. Kim G too. Not interested. I haven't heard one I'm sorry. If I had an I'm sorry from both of them, I would be able to say they were a lady. To me, they gave me dignity and they said they were sorry. But there's been no apologies, so I don't know where to start from there.
Mm-hmm.
Start with an apology.
So let's take one last question.
Okay.
Who do you think will be, if anyone, will be booted next season? Who do you think is not making it back? If you were to say somebody.
Well, I want to say Teresa because she's just got nothing going on that's interesting, but they can't do it without her and me. So
I was gonna say
I'm not there, so they're gonna have to keep her boring ass.
And I mean, Jackie, she's on the after show, so even though she wasn't spending too much time on the show, it looks like she's making up for it, trying to get up on all the after shows and everything, so that her face.
I think Jackie is dispensable. I think I don't know what they're hanging on to Margaret for, but that's yet to be seen. So I would say that she's the most dispensable of them all. None of them even really like her. Teresa can't stand her. Like, I don't understand any of the dynamic there. It's not real. Like, I like a real dynamic, whether you hate somebody or love them, to show how you feel. They had no problem showing me how they felt about me. So they're not being real. So I say nobody's safe. How's that? Nobody's safe.
Fair enough.
Not even Teresa. I think Melissa should get her ass kicked off.
She's definitely one of the more boring ones.
She brings nothing.
I mean, nothing real. I mean, as storyline wise, I think she's a beautiful girl. I think she dresses really
after all that plastic
weird.
surgery, she really is quite attractive.
She does look very different from the first season I saw her in.
You
that's
think?
for sure. I don't like the way she dresses.
I hate the way she dresses. She's got no fashion sense, but none of them really do. I'm sorry. It's either too much or it's too young or too tight, too short. I mean, I don't say
it's
I'm
always
perfect,
a hit.
but God, I
for
have
me.
fashion sense, and I'm proud of that.
For sure.
And I never wore anything that didn't fit my body.
I mean,
and I was a leg model after all. So if I wore short dresses, believe me, those legs were insured for $1.5 million. So
I mean, it's
and
not
that was
even
in the 80s, my darlings. So
I don't even
can show
feel
those legs all I want.
Yes, legs for
Betty
days.
Davis eyes. These are Danielle Staub legs.
I love that. I love that.
She's got Danielle Staub legs. What is that? Betty Davis size.
I don't know. We're gonna make a jam out of it, though. I love it.
Oh yeah, I could jam all night. Give me some more Bellini. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Right down.
I don't feel like it's the revealing thing for me. I don't know. I just feel like she doesn't know how to put a look together in general. That's
no,
just
absolutely
my
not.
opinion.
And the clothing that they borrow from whoever they're borrowing clothing from needs to stop.
Yeah.
Get your own wardrobe, man. So what if you wear the same thing? You know, just learn how to belt it differently, learn how to fix the collar differently, learn how to make it look different. That's what style's about. You could wear the same thing over and over again and nobody would know.
For sure. I have to comment on something. People keep saying that we're very judgmental and shaming them. And I just want to be clear, like, the point of this program... Well, and that's the whole point of this whole program. Like, you're tuning in to hear us talk about this show. And I mean, that's kind of the point. We're not shaming anybody. We're speaking our observations.
Right. And if people think that I'm shaming, why don't you rewind back to season 1 and all the seasons that followed, and you see who's gotten shamed for doing nothing but living my life. Okay? So I'm now catching up to speed. I'm saying the things that I couldn't say, that no one would let me say. And even if I did say them, it didn't air. So I'm airing my ways. I'm unpacking with my perception. And I don't have a lot of love for them. And Yvette's my friend, so he doesn't either. So there you have it. If you don't like it, you can turn this off. This is my show.
I think shame is definitely like questioning somebody's like integrity and all that, which I'm not. I'm just saying they have ugly outfits.
They shamed the fuck out of me. I have no problem returning the favor, but I'm not shaming them. I'm speaking my truth. If I don't like something, I'm speaking about it. And this is my platform to do it on. And if someone thinks that I'm wrong, well, then you don't have to watch. I didn't ask you to watch.
Yeah, someone asked Yvette, why do you never disagree with Danielle? And honestly, this isn't really my place. You know, I'm here to talk about the show with Danielle. She says her opinions and I say mine. Most of the time I do agree because I feel like I don't know what to tell you. I agree with what we're talking
You're watching the same show as me.
I don't know, guys.
Maybe they're watching a different show. I mean, but I would wonder if they would question Teresa's friends and their loyalty. Oh, they all agree. You think Margaret agrees with Teresa all the time? Do you think Jennifer agrees with Teresa all the time? She never calls her out on anything.
Jackie's
so what are your thoughts on that, folks?
Margaret.
So I'm keeping it real and they're not, and you're still judging me. So bye-bye. Right. You can go. Right.
I don't know what to tell you guys.
I can just say this. Bye.
Literally.
Oh, and there's that little button too. Press it.
Love it. Love it. All right, my love.
I think that's it, folks. We've done a nice solid hour. On the table. Please tune in every week. Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Danielle's viewing parties. And be sure to look for us live from now on Instagram for the day after show. Yvette and I will be unpacking all of this. I'll be unpacking. He'll be commentating. And we will be giving our strong opinions. If you like it, stay. If you don't, bye. And I appreciate all of you. I love all you so much. Even though I can't say that I've always felt this comfortable speaking my truth, I do now, and it's about time. So I want all of you also to tune in and subscribe to my YouTube channel because we'll put episodes back up on there as well. But here's where we're going to do the lives, and you can go up to my bio on Instagram, swipe all the way up, and you're going to click on my link tree, and you're going to see all of my social pages there, including LinkedIn. But I want you to also take a visit over to my podcast. It's got a whole new look. It's Danielle Staub, absolutely, podcast.
Love that.
So it's a multi-genre platform. We have lots of fun over there. It's not the same as here, and I love all of it. And I love all of my viewers, all my fans, and all of you for tuning in with me. Give yourself a great big hug because I'm giving it to you now. Yvette, I love you, honey.
Love you.
And I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thanks so much for sharing this with us and with all the fans.
Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Love you.
I'm empty. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.